Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about learning from our mistakes. I would like to say that I'm not talking about learning a language. It's good maybe when you're learning a language to learn from your mistakes. I'm talking about life experiences here. I know a lot of people think that learning from our mistakes is actually a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying that sometimes we are trying to mask our bad decisions as an excuse to make a mistakes that we should learn from, which I don't think it's a good practice. So I'm going to talk to you about what I think about learning from our mistakes, my opinion on learning from the mistakes of the others, which I think is a better option than learning from your own mistakes. So, learning from our mistakes. Unfortunately, that doesn't really happen automatically, meaning that we need to make some effort in order for that to happen, in order for us to learn our lesson. And not everyone is willing to make that effort. You can go through life making the same mistake over and over again without really correcting it. I would like to paint a picture with a Bible verse that I think it's very graphical but really shows the meaning of going back to things that you shouldn't be going back to. As a dog returns to his vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. As you can see, this is very graphical, but I think it paints a great picture. If you keep on making the same mistake over and over again, you're actually going back to your vomit. What is vomiting exactly? What type of physical process is that? It's kind of a process where you have, eaten something that is poisonous or something that your body is trying to reject, something that is not good for you, something that is irritating your digestive system. And what the body is doing is that it's actually detoxifying itself and it's trying to get all of that poison out. And I think that also it's a good example of if you have made a mistake or if you have done something wrong or something that has affected you in a bad way. Vomiting itself can be because you are releasing yourself from some kind of poison that was inside of you. And what's the point of going back to it? What's the point of having all this dirt, all this filth on the floor, which could be something that you have detoxified yourself from? What's the point of going back to it and making the same mistake over and over again? And I really think that mistake is actually a word to hide behind what can be a bad decision. So what I'm saying is that once you make a mistake, you need to own it. And if this is because you have made a bad decision, don't just go through life like whatever happens, happens. Oh, it's a mistake, I'll learn from it. Don't be with that kind of mentality, because I think this is what is making wrong steps in the long run. And we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to be open with ourselves and say, hey, I made a bad decision. It was a mistake. When it comes to learning from mistakes, I think it's a much better option to learn from other people's mistakes than to learn from our own mistakes. Now, these things happen to them as an example, but they were written down for our instruction, on whom the end of the ages has come. Another quote that comes to mind here is one of Benjamin Franklin. Experience keeps a dear school, but fools will learn in no other. If we choose to only learn from our mistakes, we're in it for a very rough ride during this life. That's another reason why I love the Bible, because it's full of so many people's experiences and so many people that made mistakes and things that we can learn from. It's a record of people who are wise, people who were with all kinds of backgrounds. And as much as the world has changed through all these 1,000 years, well, people are basically the same. They're the same old human beings doing the same old stuff. Even if you look at history and how it's actually repeating itself now, you can see that humans didn't really change throughout the years. They tend to do the same stupid things. So for me, that means that the Bible is not just ancient history. It can actually help us avoid modern day pitfalls and help us in good decisions. What I'm trying to say is that making mistakes and learning from them takes time. You don't need to go through everything in life in order to learn. You can actually look at what other people have gone through and learn from their experience and don't repeat their mistakes. That's why also history, it's so important. I think there's a rising interest in history now because people see that modern day society is really nothing different than the society before in terms of our relationships, in terms of the pitfalls that we had, and everything keeps on repeating each other. So we might as well learn from our history, from our background. I would like to finish on a positive note and quote a verse that is actually very encouraging to me. No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. I love how this verse paints a picture that we're all human beings. We all go through the same things. And if we're seeking God's help, He will always be there to help us and give us that extra push and extra support when we need it. God always provides a way out. It might not be as straightforward as we think. It might not come as fast as we want it to come. We might not get it as easy as we want to, but we always have the choice, and there is always wisdom to do the right thing and not going through the same mistakes over and over again. Okay guys, to wrap it up, I just want to say that I think that we should learn from other people's mistakes rather than our own, and not disguise the desire to somehow make bad choices as mistakes or have this trial and error mentality, because sometimes we make the same mistakes over and over again, getting hurt over and over again in the same way, and that is not really learning. But I guess this is also part of being human. Unfortunately, we're not robots. We have free will. This is how God has created us, with free will, and there is a beauty in being able to make the choices yourself. But let's not justify our wrong actions by saying that we should learn from our mistakes. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below whether you think it's a good idea to learn from your mistakes, or you would much rather take the experience of others and learn from them, because at the end of the day, we're all humans, we all make the same mistakes, and we are mostly getting the same outcome for the stupid decisions that we make. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!